Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. Let's play Rising Star 2. And in a previous episode, I had talked about how you can add your own wall art and things like that. And there's two flavors of that. You can go to an art gallery and buy stuff. It improves your inspiration and things like that. Happiness goes up, those sorts of things. The other thing we can do is, and I finally remembered how to do it, I'm going to remove this guitar that we put here. And I am going to add something to my photo album. So once we're in here, we click Import Image, and we can go to a location on our hard drive, and we can import a picture. That's the picture I'm going to import. I'm also going to import, I don't remember what this one is actually. It's just the moon. And then this is an eclipse. Those are some pictures I took. All right, here we go. I'm going to exit out of there. And now I can come in here, and when I go to photo album, there we go. I can put this picture on this wall, and I can move it around. That's not exactly pretty, is it? So there's a couple of things you might want to consider, but I like to put this right here. And then when I come into my house, I see that picture. That is effectively my band logo. So, yeah, there you have it. And we can right-click it to reposition it if we choose. I have no need to do that right now. And we're off. Let's go find some work to do. And I think what I want to do is mow some lawns just to get the cash, because we're going to want to see if we can start buying some better instruments and supplies. I know we did visit the music store to check on like incidentals and consumables, but there are a lot more things we can go after there. So we'll do some landscaping here. Also, you'll notice he's wearing the shirt that we bought for him, and he will wear that religiously, but we can give him other clothing and change it for what he's doing. He'll wear different clothes. The other thing I want to do, I just thought about this, let's make a band shirt. We need a shirt for our gigs, and eventually we'll want to buy some of those and sell them at our gigs, because that is money. So let's see what that's going to do. We're going to go to a print shop. I like to rename the print shop so that I find the same one. There's no need to go to the same one, but I like to name things for like companies in that I'm familiar with. This is one that I don't know if they're still in business, but used to be in the St. Louis area. Used to have some t-shirts printed up there now and again. But when we go in, there's a few different things we can do. We can buy band t-shirts. Well, we could do that, but we don't have any t-shirts yet to do. If we click it, it'll let us buy shirts. I don't have any idea what those shirts are going to look like. Secondly, we can design t-shirts, and that's what we're going to do first. We can also make a banner for gigs, and this will go on the wall behind us. You've probably seen that at a couple of the shows we were at. They had those up there. And then finally, you can do CD covers. We can also do an image and pass it between all these different things using the new and the save and copy. So initially, though, we want to design a t-shirt. Now, I like to have bright colors usually for this part of things, and I'm going to go with that. And then we have a few controls. I give props to this. There's a lot more things here for me to do than I'm interested in, but I've also seen, like in the Steam gallery and that, where folks have really gone crazy and designed really super incredible shirts and CD covers and things like that. I'm a little more utilitarian. My CD covers are going to have the name of the band and the name of the album for the most part. But that is for you to decide what to do. In the interest of showing you how some of this works, these are the layers, and we can move those up and down if we need to. We can change the color. This is good for me because I can see them, but I get that not everybody would like that. Let's go more to the bottom. We'll just do black on yellow, and maybe we can, that's more of a green, right? This is where my color vision issues become evident to everyone, because I'll end up with calling this yellow and it's actually green, or vice versa. And yeah, so my apologies, folks. It's just a piece of who I am. We have different fonts. In fact, we have a ton of different fonts, and some of them are fun and some of them are icky. And there's like even horror fonts in here. It's pretty awesome. There's something for everyone, I would think, at some point. I'm not sure what I want it to look like exactly. It's almost like Game of Thrones, isn't it? And again, I'm usually pretty utilitarian, so oftentimes I'm like using font 1, 2, or 3, and that's about it. But feel free to go through here and find every last thing that you like. I don't know, for like a techno album, that might be kind of cool. We'll go with that. It's fun. And then there's a lot of things we can do with this. We can rotate it a little bit. Can literally 90 degree it. I'm going to go with this. We can move it around a little bit. Can change the size. And what I kind of like to do here is, I don't know, I'm not terribly artistic, but I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to add a graphic. I'm sorry, I'm not going to add a graphic. I'm going to add a photo, and the photo I'm going to add is this one. And we're going to make it much, much smaller. And I think we can do some interesting, am I remembering that right? Yeah, there you go. You can change kind of the tone of it some. We can blend it in and out. Obviously, that's not quite where it's going to go. It's going to go over here. Little offset. I don't know. I kind of like that. Now, in the interest of not spending 45 minutes coming up with the perfect design of what I want, we're going to go with this. And this will often be my CD cover as well, because I just don't want to take the time to go and make another one or figure things out. Once in a while, I'll add graphics, and that's something I want to show you. You can add additional graphics to it if you want. If we wanted to put a big square on it, and then there's the layering. We saw that. We can put it behind everything. So there's a lot you can do here. Also, we can get rid of the square. It says photo. I'm not sure that's what that means, is it? Oh, okay, there we go. It doesn't say photo anymore, but we're going to remove that element. And okay, that looks like a little bit of a bug there. That's surprising me. I haven't run into that before. Yeah, okay, it went away pretty quickly there. I hadn't seen that, honestly. This has been really tight. I'd say that was a one-off and not something to be too concerned about. We can also put another line of text. Maybe because this is our first shirt, we'll, in the beginning, the idea being this is the first shirt. That's my idea there. And we want to put that down here. So it's kind of props to people who got the shirt early. Now we will sell shirts at concerts and whatnot, and that will earn us some money. And then the other thing that's kind of interesting about that is we will start to see people show up to our concerts in our shirts. And I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's fun. The cost to make a shirt, really the cost to make any graphic is $200. So that's something to consider. That's why we don't just go and start making CDs and stuff right away. You have to pay money for those things. We want to make some money and make good songs before we do that. There are different ways to play the game. You can put together a whole bunch of really bad CDs and whatnot right away. I like to go with quality. I might not be playing right. There are things like when you sign a contract to make a CD that it has to be at least 40 quality, for instance. Well, I'm going to have mine well above that. Maybe I should consider trying that sometime. Do you want to buy this design? Yes, I do want to buy this design, and we're going to call this first shirt. And that is good to go. And then we can go and buy some shirts. Now we have a minimum we have to buy, and they cost $5 each. We don't have a ton of money, but we can buy some. Let's go ahead and buy 100. That's going to cost us $500. And then we will sell those at our concerts for $10 each. So we will eventually have a surplus there. Actually, we sell them for $12. Look at that. We have 10 in stock. We have sold 0, which makes sense. We are in St. Louis. That's why it's showing us this, and we've never sold any here. But we will see that we can adjust the price if we choose. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at $12. That feels pretty fair. Now, this was 2006. So, I guess, Van Halen shirts were going for $50 in the 80s, right? So there we have it. We can then go to the gig banner designer, and we could say copy as a, whoops, is that what I want to say? Copy a design as a banner. Yes, I do want to do that. Would you like to save it first? No, I don't. And then we can go and we can pick first shirt, and it will put that on a banner for us. You'll notice it preserved the color and all that kind of stuff, and we can further adjust this if we choose. And, maybe in the beginning becomes our first album title. I don't know. That wouldn't be the worst thing, would it? We move this around a little bit. And again, I know there are folks that could play with this for days to get it exactly how they want it, and good on them. I'm not going to do that. I feel like I've spent too much time on it already, honestly. So we're going to go ahead and buy this design, though. And that will become important when we get to our first concert. Now, I do not know if having a backdrop is at all important for your popularity or any of those things. I think it's just something that allows you to tweak the game to play it the way you want. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Let's call this first banner. Okay. We will, when we go and do a gig, we will have the opportunity to pick which banner we want to put on the wall. It will always use the last one we chose otherwise. But you will keep these forever. They will be available to you. If you've played for 15 years, you can go back and use your first one if you want. Let's go ahead and leave. I don't want to do a CD cover yet. We'll do that on another day when we're more interested in actually putting some songs out. And I feel like we've done plenty for the day. So we're going to go home. And we are going to merge songs and practice. Merge song ideas and practice. Okay, here's one. We'll go ahead and go with the 10. So there will be a point where I want that difficulty to actually go way up, but we are not good enough to be too concerned with that yet. Once we get 6 months into the game, in game time, that's when we'll start to worry about let's make things more difficult, because that gives you a better chance of winning awards. And we're out of points. Yeah, I do that all the time. I even do it when I have 100 points that I'm spending. So it's just, it is what it is. There's that saying. All right. I think my mom said that a lot. It's probably why I say it. And then we're going to go practice. This song is 100%. We don't need to practice it at all. Let's do these 3. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do all of them, because these might go up. This one probably will hit 100 then, and we won't waste a whole bunch of points. And this one might get to 100 if there's 4 of them. We're doing 5. Well, that's fine. Let's see what happens. It went up 6 points, and that's fine. It went up 6. It's almost to 100. That's good enough. This isn't going to be a big difference. Let's worry about these in the next couple of days. And then we will want to hit all of the songs once before if we were to go to travel, if we were going to, go travel the East Coast, you don't get to practice while you're on the road. So the only bump that songs get are actually performing them. And if they don't get performed for a period of time and they don't get practiced, the skill will start to go down. A few points going down isn't a big deal. Once you start to get to the 80s, then you're like, okay, that's maybe people are going to start to notice. And you will get feedback from the fans, the attendees that'll tell you kind of where you're at with that. And we'll see that here in just a few minutes, because we are fast approaching that first band gig. I think what I would like to do is I'm going to do one more day of developing ideas, and then we're just going to do 3 quick practices and get to that, because that's the next exciting thing, and I want to get there. So we will forego having perfect song parody with our song parts over the next few days. Yes, we lose a few points in the grand scheme of things, it won't really matter. And any ones down here? Yes, there are. There we go. Let's practice. And we could do 2 days of practice on these because we know we're going to need to. And so I'll show you that. The one downside on doing that, basically you can set how many days you're going to go forward right here. You can go up to 7. We're going to do 2. There is a downside to this. I'm going to go ahead and run it. We'll see these numbers go up for 2 days worth. Kiwi is not feeling well. We're going to want to deal with that too. So these songs went up pretty well, actually. We're in pretty good shape. They went up for 2 days. Here's something to notice. This didn't go back down to 1, and I have more than once hit this button again, and it will skip over gigs. You will get penalized for skipping gigs. People don't like it when you don't show up. So that is important to note. I always, if I'm going to skip ahead days, I immediately drop this back down so I don't forget. All right, so Kiwi is not feeling well. That means she's sick. Let's take a look. We click on her, and we'll come down here, and her health is at 83. This is out of 100, and it will affect and impact her skills and how well she's playing and things like that. So we want to get that taken care of. Unfortunately, medical is extremely important in the expensive in the game, and we're about to learn that. So we're going to drive to the hospital. It is in the northeast corner on this particular map. I do wish that he had a way to seed the values so you knew what town you were getting in that, and we could all play on the same one because, you know, it is procedurally generated at some level. He just doesn't offer us any command over that, and I turned too soon. I was too busy talking. This is where the hospital is. We're just going to go up and hit its hitbox, and this is the interface for the hospital. We come in here, and anybody who's sick, it will list them out and how much it costs to fix them. We're going to go ahead and do it. Kiwi is now back at 100% and ready for our gig tomorrow night, hopefully. I do feel like I have seen what I'm going to call a death spiral, where somebody will get sick and you fix them, and they get sick again the next day, and you fix them, and 2 days later they get sick again. I don't know what causes that. I kind of assume it's just a random number that's coming up, causing it to happen. So we're going to go ahead and practice these songs, get them up as high as we can for our gig tomorrow. We have 3 that are in really good shape, and these 3, I think we could play these without too much problem once you're at this point. And we have a gig today at Chris's Shed. Yes, we do. All right. So this song is maxed out at 97. So because of its difficulty, we can't get it to 100% right now. That's important to note. And it looks like it could be because all of our members are below that number. We can't get there. We'll have to see. Where that whole mechanic becomes interesting is if you decide to change band members in the future. So my band will stay cohesive because I kept them together, and for them to get angry with each other and break up is going to be because I am not paying attention to which attitudes they're interested in. If they are in opposing attitudes, they will start to feud, and eventually one of them will quit. Band members that aren't otherwise tightly cohesive will just have personality rubs, and you have to pay attention to that. Part of the reason I like playing with creating my own members is I don't really have to manage that part of the game. I have accidentally, though, like set one of them to technology and the other one to nature. Those are opposing attitudes. It causes a 5-point unhappiness for each of them every day. That becomes problematic. Now, there are ways to combat that, but you know, in the long run, I'd rather not run into that. So let's go in and do our first gig. And here we are. We don't have to check in with the bartender, but I usually do. I check in, and what I'm honestly usually doing is seeing if they've got any battles of the band coming up soon, other than the one that I'm currently in, so that I remember to come back and check on it and sign up for it. Now, again, first battle of the bands. The interface for this is the same as playing any show. So I want you to know that. The difference is the payout. Will we win? And if we win, we get money and we get some renown locally. We'll gain reputation. We'll gain reputation either way because we're playing. We might gain some popularity. The real thing is at the end there's this judging segment, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But the rest of this is the same interface for any show, and we'll see that tomorrow as well. So we're going to go play our gig. We need to set up a set list. Now, currently, we don't have, by the way, I completely failed to check this when we went to February. When we entered February, these changed a little bit, although I'm not seeing what changed. So I'm not 100% sure they actually did. I don't remember depression being positive before, though. I don't remember for sure, honestly. But the attitudes can and often do change at the end of the month. And if we had songs that were opposed to that, we could run into some problems because people don't want to hear them. They don't care. They don't like it. What I will do when I'm about to play a gig and I'm not certain about attitudes and my song attitudes, I'll click this and you'll see that green songs will float to the top and red ones will go to the bottom. We don't have any red ones. We're in good shape. I do then tend to sort them by when they were written, at least initially, though that's more because I want to make sure that songs that I've recently written get played, because I want to know if they're going to be popular or not. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But we need to come up with 6 songs to play, and I have a formula that I do it in. When it is a normal, a period of normalcy where the attitude is not low energy or high energy, I will play 2 red songs, a yellow song, a red song, a blue song, and a red song. And the reason I'm going to do that is once we get into the next part of the interface, you'll see that as these songs get played, the crowd loses energy for red songs. They will gain a little bit of energy for yellow songs, and they will gain a lot of energy for blue songs. Now, that has nothing to do with if they like the song or not. It's just the attitude of the crowd. If you play 6 red songs, what will happen is their energy will go down to 0%, and then they don't even pay attention to the last songs. And it'll say things like, the crowd wanted to enjoy the song, but they were burned out, kind of paraphrasing, but that's kind of what it says. So you do have to balance that. When times change and it's low energy, it works differently, and there will be a little icon down here that tells you that. That's why I'm circling here a lot. It will tell you that, and it will show you it will remind you that, hey, low energy songs actually burn energy, and high energy songs gain energy back because they don't want to hear them as much. And it gets a little weird and complicated. I curse the times when I'm in low energy and it doesn't go away for long periods of time. That is so hard to deal with. Right now we're in a completely normal situation. That's perfect. So we're going to go ahead and run this set. And by the way, so what I will do then is adjust the reds, yellows, and blues and where they are. So what will happen here is we play our first song. The energy will go down 25 or 30% for each red. It'll go up a trickle, like 10% for each yellow, and it'll go up like 30% for each blue, something along those lines. And we'll see it as it's happening. So let's go ahead. We want to put our banner up. We already did, actually. It defaults to your latest banner. And we'll see this. We're going to do the gig. I'm going to do this first one at 1 time speed, but usually I max it out. And here is the process. So as the song plays, the audience energy is getting expended. 15% for that first song, and they gain some interest level. The quality of the song, how well you're playing it, how popular the song becomes will determine how much this moves up. You are not going to hit 100% on your first gig. You're just not. We will be a very popular band and not always hit 100% for different reasons. Things can go wrong during your show and make your song disappear. You can't play it for that show, and we'll run into that eventually. As the show completes here, though, I normally run this at 4 times, so this only takes usually about 8 seconds to run through. But as you can see, where we ended, the audience interest level, they were only interested 9%. Well, we're not a very good band. And their audience energy level was okay. For blue songs to recover energy has to be below 50%. We might not have gotten below there, so they might not have even paid attention to this song is what we might see here. Let's go ahead and go to results. First phase of results. Okay, this is the screen that comes up when it is a battle of the bands. And as you can see, we came in last. We've got a ways to go. And there's nothing wrong with that. Completely expected that. So now we're going to go to the rest of the normal results. It does tell you here that we played in front of a sold-out crowd. That's good. And it was a slow night at the merchandising counter. Well, not surprising. It will also show us who won this. But here's what we had. 27 people came to see us. That's not bad, actually. We sold one t-shirt for $12. That's all the money we made today. We made $12, which really is $7 because we paid $5 for the shirt. We gained some reputation with the venue, with some of the bands. We gained some happiness and some inspiration. That's all good. And this becomes kind of a good litmus for where you are in the game. As you become more popular, you'll start to see where, you sold out on shirts. You sold all of them. That's amazing, or whatever. You'll sell CDs at your shows, things like that. You will also gain songs will gain popularity at shows, and that will show up on this. And that's one of the markers that you kind of want to pay attention to see how your songs are doing. Now, Rising Star 2, one criticism it receives a lot, I'm on the fence about it, is when you look at your set, we immediately know if a song was going to be a hit or not. First time we play it, doesn't even matter how well we played it, we will know. And it's because the language in the notes will be just a little different for what happened with the song. So what we're seeing right now is all these songs were, okay, I'm actually not 100% sure I've seen admired before. That's kind of interesting. Our songs did not hit. If they were a hit, it would tell us that people were tapping their feet or dancing along, some indication like that. Otherwise, it will say something more like they enjoyed it, they loved it, they admired it. And there can be negatives, usually the negatives. So we did not get down below 50% when we ran the blue song. So we got unhappy faces. They had a lot of energy to release when we played it, and they were bored. Okay, well, I get it. That makes sense. I really thought we would have gotten down to 50. My bad. So we'll adjust off of this as we do our next gig, which also means we're going to want to get that other red song up because we're going to probably want to drop the blue song. All right. Then the other little piece to know here, also, by the way, notice the energy stayed the same because they were bored. It didn't have its impact of moving things up. You can tell how popular a song was. Overall interest is how interested they were in the whole set. So it went up here, went up here, went up here, went up here, went down. Well, that was our bad. We shouldn't have played a slow song there, and went up. But you'll also notice here it went up 5, here it only went up 3, here it only went up 2. Okay, now this is a medium-paced song. There's reasons for why the numbers are what they are. Here, this one went up 6. So this song is liked more than this one because the amount of gain was a little bit better. So that's just something to hold on to because how much people like the songs that you're playing impacts how many people come to your concerts and things like that. In the long run, we want to get 5 smiley faces on all of them. Sometimes you can get 4 smiley faces and you'll still have a really, really solid song. We're not going to end up keeping any of these songs. None of them are very good. We don't actually know on this one since the energy was off when it was played. This actually could be a hit, I think. I can't remember if I've ever seen a blue one that was a hit but was played low energy, or when low, there was too much energy and so you get this message. I don't know if there's a different message otherwise. And every once in a while, the attitude of the state or country, if you're in Europe, will make a difference between it being normal and it being a hit. And if you look on forums and that, a lot of people refer to that as a minor hit or a part-time hit. I think those are the words I've seen them use. The hits become important when you release albums. It has to do with how many people are going to initially buy it and how many people show up to shows, things like that. You want to keep hits when you get them. And when songs don't perform well, you don't want to continue to play them because people don't like them. So those are things you learn from this. It is not uncommon for me to take a screenshot of this when I have a really good one or a particularly bad one. This is actually a particularly bad one. And I will kind of make sure that I tailor what I'm doing around what was in this screen going forward. Now, with this being our very first play ever, this is very not good, but it's not like, I'm not going to worry about it at that level just yet. I'm not going to screenshot this to make sure, oh my God, I got to throw these out. We can remove songs pretty easily, and we'll do that eventually. For now, though, it's all the songs we have, and we have more gigs coming up, so we need to be very careful about that. We're going to go home, and Angel levels up, so we're going to take care of that. I mentioned that I'm not going to like do 5 in a row in any of these anymore. I am going to go back to having her write some lyrics, and we're going to do stage presence as well. We want to get this up into I want to get it to the mid-teens. That seems to be where you start to really have some impact. And of course, by the end of your career, you want it to be way, way, way up there. But for now, this will do. And we're going to come here. Now we have another gig tomorrow, so we need to practice. We want to try to get those other songs at 100% as best we can. And real quick, we're going to merge some of these. I do kind of wish there was an auto merge, but I know why there's not. And it's because I have to make some decisions here. Do I want Hometown Pride, or do I want to somehow include or get rid of the spontaneity? That's why it works the way it does. Okay. A few more of these. Yeah, let's come down here. Some 6s that become a 10, and that's all our points. Okay, and now we're going to practice not writing another song just yet. I think we are really close to doing that. It's just not going to happen today. Let's go ahead. I don't know that we're going to hit the limit of 35 here, so we're going to go ahead and just practice this one song. It will not be ready for tomorrow. And because of that, actually, part of me is thinking just go ahead and practice these instead. I don't know. I'm on the fence there. Yeah, let's do that. We'll inverse this. Go that way. We're repracticing the ones that are already maxed out because it buys us a day before they start to get worse again. That's really the only reason. And I think otherwise we'll probably get enough points out of here to max these out. Again, it looks like we did. And we need to go to Carbondale. So we have 5 songs at 100%, 1 song at 97. That is good. And we will stop paying attention to this eventually. We will just know that we're only going to play songs that are maxed out or really, really, really close to it. Let's drive to Carbondale. There we go. And it should flag it for us. Yep, we have a gig at Aaron's Bar. So we're going to drive to Aaron's Bar. Oh, yeah, something that I do often, actually, because we will need more money, and I think the gig and how it went is indicative of that. We need more bonuses, and we need money to buy new instruments that will have better bonuses, so we're going to mow a lawn while we're in Carbondale because we can do one job, and it will not take time from the drive or anything like that. Okay, that's done, and then right there is where the gig is, so we're going to come in smelling like grass and fuel. Maybe 2-cycle oil or something like that. And we're going to go do the gig. I don't think this was a battle of the bands, was it? It is. Well, we're going to do really poorly here too, unfortunately. I'm going to rearrange this just a little to maybe try to get us where our energy is high enough that is not a distraction. We're not ready to play this song yet. If we did, they would tell us that we played it really, really poorly. They don't like that. Let's go with this. And I'm going to speed this up. I'm going to go to 4 times. This is the speed I typically play at, and you kind of watch the needle kick around, and we're not getting anywhere near 50%, so they're still not going to like that song. We will have done no better in this one. Somebody leveled up, though. That's good. Wow, they liked the fans kind of liked us. Our music sucked. That's what that's telling me. So let's go look at our other results. Nothing huge to see here. We sold a shirt. That's great. We gained reputation with a couple of the other bands. And we're not learning anything here, except this had 3 happies as opposed to just 2. Yeah, none of the songs were loved, which means they're all really disposable. These are good filler songs. I'm not even sure I would call them B-sides, honestly. This one, still the jury is out because we've never reached the limit where it would make a difference. As you can see, it had a huge impact on our score, though, and that's disappointing. We'll want to address that. It is the weird part of the evening. Oh, 2 of our members leveled up. That's good. So let's go ahead and go home. It is a Sunday, so we'll have the auto save. And maybe I should have leveled them up before the auto save. I guess it doesn't matter that much, does it? It is the next day, though. It took us overnight to drive back home. Now, because we did a concert, if we hadn't done the concert, you can drive to Carbondale and home in one day. And that's, of course, true of any other towns that are close to one another. I do want playing to go up a little bit for him. We'll do business twice, and we will do stage presence once. I seem to find where I struggle with stage presence a lot. I don't know why. I think I deprecate it a little too much. Yeah, I am going to go ahead and add there for her. There you have it, folks. I am going to finish this day with just doing the things we've been doing, and that is merging and then practicing. And we will pick this up in the next episode. I appreciate you sharing your time with me, and I hope you're getting something out of this and seeing that this game has a lot of potential. Slow start, but once we're in it, it will be a little bit different story, and I hope you're willing to hang around and find out what that looks like. There we go. One more of those. And then finally, we will do practice. And we're just going to practice this song, see what our score is looking like. If we get to 66, then we know that we have maxed out the single song points, and we will not want to do that in the future. We did not quite get there, so we still have 2 more points that we could go up for each of them on average before we reach where it's terminal for a single song. However, with that said, the next time the song will be in the 90s, and that will be a great day. Let's go ahead and do that. Why not? And there we have it. We are now effectively maxed out. By just practicing one more time before a concert, everything will be at its maximum that we can play it. All right. Well, I'm going to end this here. Thank you for your time. And until next time, fair travels.